so excited for this next match.
Oh my god, we got hype music started off, and our winners match will decide which of our players here today will advance to the GSL Code S round of 8.
Yeah, SOS versus ByuN. This is pretty wild. Now, I think on paper ByuN's supposed to win, but I'm going to pull a Tasis and just always say I think SOS can take this.
Well, both of these players are just so hard to read. I feel like ByuN, he's hot and he's cold, he's yes and he's no. I think we've all heard the song. But SOS, on the other hand, has just looked really great tonight. We haven't seen him pull out those super down and dirty cheeses, though. So maybe this is, his victory, his chance to make it to the round of 8.
Yeah. Now, our next match, by the way, after this is going to be the losers match. That's going to be Hero versus Bunny. Now, even though Bunny, I think at the start of Game 1 against SOS, he held his own, and then we just saw why SOS is somebody who has 2 world championships under his belt.
Right.
I think that Bunny versus Hero, just because of how Hero's been playing lately, I think that could be a much closer match. But definitely both these players, they really want to advance here.
That's right.
As good as they both are, you would not want to go to a losers match. This is a pretty tight group.
Yeah, absolutely anybody could make it out. Bunny definitely an underdog, but his TBT has been monstrous lately, so ByuN's got to worry about that. SOS, on the other hand, seems like he's great at reading his opponent and playing a much different style depending on who he's up against. And on Abyssal Reef, this is a map that he's had chances to plan all kinds of shenanigans for. See how it works out as we get into our winners match. ByuN versus SOS.
Code S.
By the way, that probe going out early again. In the bottom right, in the blue, 2-time world champion.
Generic Green Wings. SOS.
Got those mouth twitches going on. See what's up. One more second.
In the upper left. In the upper left in the red, he is.
Team expert, ByuN.
Did you see in the StarCraft Remastered launch party?
You guys are just zooming in on
Artos's face. Well, I've known Artos long enough to know that, because he's like been in my house before. I've been watching him play. I've seen him play at tournaments where I'm like, he's got a very interesting face. Like it's much more reactive than most people who play a lot. Most of the time, you'll see somebody curse when they lose something they didn't want to lose. I mean, I get that, and that's fine. And of course, everybody sort of looks funny when they're really focused and playing a game. This is sort of the whole comedy about watching people stream online, is like everybody kind of doesn't look the way they would like to look, when they're trying to play a game. But man, he is hilarious to have a cam on of his face.
That was actually one of the problems for me growing up. I used to have piano lessons, and I did my first recital, and my parents, like, they made fun of me afterwards, because they're like, you move your mouth way too much. You really need to work on not doing that.
Your parents actually did that? That's so messed up.
Yeah, it was very traumatic.
What? I actually cannot believe they would do that. That is that's so messed up, because whenever you're really trying to concentrate on something, I mean, one of my roommates played guitar, and I mean, whenever I tease anybody for what their face looks like when they're trying to do something, of course it's a joke, because you should not actually care about how you look when you're trying to do something that requires focus. But you were like a little kid and they made fun of you for that?
Well, this is one of those things where they want to show all their friends how talented their kids are. So like, hey, try art lessons, swimming lessons, chess lessons, everything. Yeah. Like, just find something you're good at. I was just not good at a lot of stuff growing up. So they're like, well, you're good at this, but you don't look good, so...
But like, who cares? That's the whole point. Like, I don't care. Well,
I mean, my brain's in my hands, so...
Yeah, that's... Okay, hold up. We got the Reaper coming in here. And once again, we saw this almost exactly like the last game, but it was Bunny who managed to kill the... was it Bunny or was it ByuN in the previous game?
It was ByuN.
It was ByuN. Okay, I'm sorry. But he actually got the probe that time. This time, no dice, but does get in here and scout around a little bit. We have a proxied Oracle, though.
Right. Now, this is an opportunity to see what
Oh, this
SOS
is so
has.
sick. Look at this. If you get enough
here's the...
Marines,
Oh! That's actually really big. He was going to put a pylon down there.
Yeah. But he did get enough Marines. The Marine comboed with the Adept. Oh, I'm sorry. He didn't let that finish inside the main.
Yeah. That was really big. Now, this is the exact build that SOS did to, I think, TY to advance first out of his group. Twice he did the double pylon overcharge, or not double pylon, but he did it twice. So That's actually a lot to not have here.
Yeah, this can snowball really fast. I love the pylon he's going to try to get set up. SOS is pulling the trigger on this one. There's a Cyclone out. He actually needs to make sure this does stay alive, this Oracle. Where is
Whoa! I actually thought there was a Widowmine locking.
Wait, I think does he get that?
Yeah.
This is just a,
Whoa,
now.
Okay, yeah,
Well, now he does.
Really,
I can't believe, some of that would boil down to a right click.
oh, it's starting to fall apart here for SOS. He loses the probe that starts the pylon at the front. Now, this is still going to deny the expansion for now, but I mean, it's Terran. He just slipped up, and now he's got double Cyclone. There's no way to break into this.
So I think he might have 2 more pylon cannons set up there.
On the
what
way.
is this?
That is
with
a fleet
beacon. Ooh, okay.
This is one base carrier?
I'm not even going to say
No, that's not.
That can't be right.
That's not a thing. He's not going to scout it though. I think you should. Yeah, and he's going to chase the Reaper out. So there's no way to scout this.
Was that a mistake?
Did he cancel that? Did it complete?
No, I think it's done, man. We're going to get a shot of the main here in a second.
I'm worried. Artosis.
Oh my God.
He's got the chrono on it.
Oh my God, he's getting a mothership core. That's so crazy.
I've never seen this before.
Well, I guess this
he's not going in.
I guess this makes a lot more sense, right?
Yeah. Okay, he's gonna go in. He's gonna see it. Now, what does ByuN think of that? I'm actually kind of sad we don't have player facial cams here because I would love to see what kind of reaction this is gonna get.
He should be ready then.
What on earth?
I have not casted a game like this just yet.
And what a player to do it. SOS just always has something else up his sleeve.
But that, I wouldn't. Well, hold on. I guess we're going to find out how much momentum this can really have here. I guess some of this is going to come down to how many scans you have available, right?
Yeah.
I don't think you have time to really get a Raven here.
Thankfully, there are missile turrets up.
Yes.
Double Vikings on the way.
The problem is I feel like if you can see this, then you can just kill it, right? I mean, at least in the way that I understand the game, guys.
Mothership just take a long time to build.
Well, they do.
Guys,
I think not knowing this is coming would have helped out tremendously.
The good old 6-minute mothership rush.
Yeah.
There we go. The Yo Mama ship. It's up here.
So he's going to rotate around here to the army, obviously. The cloak's important. The turret is not finished yet. I don't know if he has enough. Now, it's just Zealots and Stalkers, by the way. There's no Adepts here because it's not about trying to shade around. He gets it, but there's a scan here.
There's the one scan. Is he going to try to run past this? That mothership is dropping down very low, and if he takes that...
this just dies, right? Okay, this is what I was really confused about with the strategy. As I was saying, if you can see it, then you're okay. Because there's nothing actually about Stalkers and Zealots at this phase of the game that are good unless they don't have vision. And I think, okay, there we go, GG.
The good old GG off camera. There we go. I feel like SOS tried a lot, but losing that probe that stopped the pylon overcharge from being activated at the front, and then losing the Oracle.
I actually think that's a build worth trying out online, guys. I think you just have to make sure that you don't lose the Oracle, you don't lose the pylon, like you were saying.
Yep.
It's funny because now, in retrospect, it makes perfect sense. Mothership would have been the only viable option. But initially, because we saw carriers before, I was primed. I was like, huh, okay. Interesting game.
And anything that can happen with SOS. There might have been like a 50-50 chance he flips a coin that we didn't see off camera. He's like, do I go one base carrier or Mothership? Well, Mothership there. What a player to cast, and what kind of games are we going to see here? Ascension to Ire is the next map, and I'm just so excited to see what's up SOS's sleeve.
I don't think he can do anything like that again. I think he needs to go with a more standard game. He may not want to do what he did against Bunny, though, either. Maybe he realizes ByuN is just a little bit too fast, that you can't ever really get away with that. Again, the loser here goes on to the losers match. The winner does advance to the round of 8, giving us 3 out of the 8 players who will be in that pantheon, getting that much closer to winning the entire thing. But I have to say, SOS probably, I don't want to psychoanalyze too much, but seems a bit frustrated with the game going like that. Some of that was not just ByuN being brilliant and handling his own, but SOS not getting that Oracle out of there, not keeping that probe alive when he was doing the rush. You're going to do a fine-tuned rush like that, like Hero likes to do a lot of. you got to make sure that every single unit does what it needs to do, or the entire strategy falls apart.
Yeah, you play that game maybe 4 or 5 more times, anything can happen. So you really just never know, and I'm sure on Ascension to IR map that's been around for a while, SOS has got some crazy strats. ByuN's going to be aware for that, but we'll have to see what happens as we get into game number 2. Our winners match here, ByuN versus SOS.
GSL Season 3, Code S.
In the upper left, in the blue, our Protoss player, 2-time world champion.
Generic Green Wings, SOS.
How long we hold it this time? No more. We must have more.
What
shots?
In the bottom right in the red, he is
Team Expert, ByuN.
We just really have to know, what are their facial expressions going to tell us about these builds? I'm actually kind of sad now. We won't get a chance to see builds like that anymore with the new patches coming up.
Yeah, but we'll have new cool builds that come out from that.
Oh my god, I'm so excited.
I'm holding my breath on what I think's going to happen because, you know, I love the first day of a GSL where I get to come in and the patches have kind of changed the game, and then I get to learn along with everybody else the pro gamers have in store for us.
Well, especially with guys like SOS, you know he's just going to actually break people's minds with the new stuff that's out there.
Well, I think that's why he's had so much success. Even though he hasn't won a GSL, nobody's going to say he's not one of the greatest Protosses of all time, because he sees the game on a different level. Oh my God, barely got that CC up, so no denial there.
Yeah.
And this is not a Reaper build, but getting one Marine to come over here. And he's actually, he is going to be able to drive out that probe.
Oh. Probe looks like it might want to come back in. I think almost always you really want to keep tabs on this probe, and even if you let it get out of your sight. Wow, he's really just committed to trying to get back in there.
Well, he seems to know that it's a reactor that came up next, so if he can even just get around that and get back into the Terran's base, then he's got all the free scouting he needs. So good job there by ByuN just to make sure he was controlling that Marine perfectly so that the probe could not just loop around. That's one of the more subtle things a lot of times we don't get to point out in a cast here, is we're trying to talk about a lot more overarching stuff.
Yeah.
That you can see that subtle moment where, okay, why would you try to get the probe around? Because you don't normally always want to do that. A lot of times I'd have more Marines, but he's saying if I can sneak in there and see what the other structures are that are being made, I know what direction this game's coming. And especially for high-level Protoss players, sometimes they get a little bit more intel, and that can activate this algorithm into a all-in that a lot of times will work.
I wonder if, we'll see if the pylon goes down here. I wonder if SOS is going to say to himself, you know, hey, I played 2 long games against Bunny, and I won both of them. Obviously, ByuN's a different player, but maybe that makes him feel more confident in playing towards the late game, which is not necessarily something we've noted SOS for. We always talk about his early game, his innovation, his cheese, but he can play the long game, too. He's already proven that here today. Just barely scouts it.
Sees it. Now, there is an Adept coming forward here, and he can cancel this in time if he wants to.
Let's it complete. So the Adept is going to get up there with great control. That's great responsibility. But also, he's going to be able to pick off these Marines if he wants to. No longer 2 shots.
I think if he controls this just right, he actually keeps the pylon alive. It's very important that Terran kites properly. Now, keep in mind that those few Marines taken out there are not going to be there to fight the Oracle, and so there's a lot more to this strategy than just trying to keep a pylon alive. In fact, the whole strategy may be hinged on taking out those Marines early on, like we see here, and then there's just not enough workers to actually help defend. And it looks like this was actually what the rush was basically engineered to do.
That's a lot of damage.
Oh, I did not see the mine. Where was the mine?
It's behind the command center if you rotate.
Oh, it's above the satellite.
Yeah.
Oh, how funny. I didn't see it either. Okay. Well, he did get some workers. Now, these Adepts are in here, but again, there's not quite enough Marines.
I just can't. My mind as a caster is also just so broken by how creative the mine placement is sometimes. Yeah. Also somewhat comical, because you remember when satellite TV was just starting to be a thing, like the dishes were comically large?
Oh, yeah.
Somehow in the future we've gone back to
the dish at my grandma's house where they got like 400 channels. They've got like that one channel that only broadcasts in Welsh. I'm like, okay.
I just really need.
Are you really happy with this? Did you really watch all these channels? They did have Cartoon Network, though, when I was a kid, so I was happy with that.
He's going to try to turn it around, get the drop off.
He needs to pick up the mine. He gets one, but not the other. Oh, this was actually crazy good control here by both sides. He actually gets both the mines down there, but it's only damage traded onto the Adepts, and most of them only lost shields. Still taking out the medevac. Kind of a crazy game. We're really having to put all the units on the scale for what's been killed and what's been left over here to see who's supposed to have the lead. Yep. Terran's continuing to push forward here. Will there be vision in time for these Widow Mines to be taken out? I don't see any detector moving down here. I don't see any. Okay, he's got it now. He's okay.
A future new patch, those are not going to be cloaked anymore, or the burrowed, so you can just take them out easily after they go off. So just point out some big changes. Now, this is going to be a great opportunity for ByuN to go forward, maybe force a cancel on this third.
Now, is this going to work? There's no medevacs here to pick up, so if Terran loses this fight, then Protoss is exactly where he wants to be.
Landed Viking there as well. ByuN really going to try to win it on the ground before he tries to win the air battle.
This is SOS in one of those I know this exactly moments.
Yeah, I mean, ByuN wants to type out SOS right now. He needs a little bit of help.
Perfectly handled there. This game's going to seesaw back over here to the right side of the map as the Adepts can try to put more pressure on. We don't have a clear shot of what Terran has at the moment, and it's not very much.
Ooh, yeah.
You know, I don't...
12 army supply there. Now, of course, going to go up higher, but...
So every once in a while when I see a turret being made, I think it's a Cyclone. This is a caster confession here. So he's going to come forward now. There's not actually that much. In fact, if these Adepts can get up the ramp, no, they're going to go around over where these SCVs are.
Oh, and ByuN's already taken some economic damage before. This is just going to pile on top of that. Lots of damage being done here. Not a lot to stop it.
Yeah, he's doing a great job targeting a few units here and there, and actually escapes with some of that. 3 SCVs killed. Not the biggest deal in the world, but of course there's nothing over. What?
Wait, that's not.
I don't even know where those came from. I'm not sure what the story is with that.
Okay. Well,
okay.
ByuN just does not need army supply, apparently, guys. Wow, great control there by ByuN, able to take that out. I feel like that's a little bit surprising that SOS would commit to trying to get up the ramp like that.
Well, I'm confused because he had the 3 Adepts that moved out, and then there were 3 more that were coming in there that seemed to not have been the shaded ones.
Yeah.
And of course there was a turn wall, and so maybe a miscalculation there. And again, seesawing back on the other way now. It's ByuN trying to push out. This has been a slugfest of a game so far.
Certainly has. What a series. I mean, this is the winner's match. Both of these guys really on top of their game today in the opposite matchups. So just lots and lots of cool stuff going on here. Now, this is going to be, once again, SOS trying that build. We saw him go in game 1 against Bunny. This heavy Phoenix style could go late with it, but also has a lot of opportunities to deal with ByuN on a much lower army supply.
Whoa! Drove that out. Nicely done. Meanwhile, Terran's mounting pressure over here on the front. I think that it's pretty clear that Protoss knows what's coming. I don't know if Protoss is going to have the tools to try to combat it. Good pick up there at the last second.
Perfect.
Those Adepts should be able to pick that off. But what about this possible attack over here in the front? Seems like enough Adepts are over there. ByuN, again, we've seen some games, not just today, but just in general. ByuN tends to overextend, and ByuN's trying to play around that and be a little bit more cautious, be a little bit more like TY.
Well, I don't know if you want to be too much like TY. SOS knocked him out earlier.
That's true.
Beat him to advance to
not actually becoming the human TY and losing, but at least trying to play more of a calculated game. Not just doing pressure, but having reads with it as well, and then trying to reevaluate your position. All right, free Phoenix there. Protoss overextending a little bit as he tries to poke around. Oh, I didn't even notice that. He actually hit those mines. Now, this is the problem, though. When you keep moving out with Widow Mines on the map, you might get some good lucky hits. You might get an Oracle. You might get all their Adepts. But, of course, if they have Oracles, they will tag those mines.
Whoa! Nice hit. Just stretching for that.
It's kind of funny. He seems to just plant the mines further and further back as Protoss assumes no way would Terran keep this up. Because it was exactly to what I was saying, is eventually you are going to lose these units to these mines, and then you might not have that much leverage for an attack. But I guess if the mine hits start to stack up, it won't matter either way.
Ooh, just barely able to avoid or able to save that Liberator. Getting in, getting out again. I love what you were saying about the mines.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I mean the damage continues to stack.
Yeah. Great catch here on these Adepts. They're softened up by that mine hit. The shade just doesn't complete in time. SOS! Whoa! Losing way too many Adepts.
He also has a small group of Adepts here at the center right. We haven't seen them come into play just yet, but I suppose if you look at Terran's natural, it's so well defended with, 2 Wallens, one at the ramp, one at the main entrance. I don't think you can really dislodge the position here for Terran and come out with much. And in fact, we might have some Phoenixes taken out here.
Well, that's a lot of splash damage, softening them up. We're just limiting the count. Oh, taking losses.
I think, actually, he's going to get one more. Problem is that if Terran... Oh, lift it!
Yes!
Wow, it's like I worked into his body there. Okay, Terran actually, I think, goes and wins now.
Yep.
I don't mean to be one of these guys going to call it too hard, but it seems like actually Terran's army might be enough.
Why do you always call the game so early, Tasteless? Why are you doing that, Tasteless? How could you? It's so anticlimactic.
Well, I mean, all SOS can try to do. You want to know what the real story of Tasteless is? This is the story of my life right now. Rapid.
Tell it to me.
I'm casting the StarCraft Remastered Cup, and most people are nice on Twitter, but some people are like, fuck you, Tasteless, you abandoned StarCraft 2! And then I'm casting GSL now, and people are like, fuck you, Tasteless, you abandoned StarCraft 1! And I'm just like, I don't know what to do, guys. I like both the games. Is that all right? Am I allowed to do that?
I mean, they're literally both called StarCraft.
Yeah. They're in fact made by the same people.
Some people want to make it. Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
He's going for it. Liberation Zone's being set up, but they haven't come to bear just yet.
Now, those Colossi are what he's going to be relying on right now. The Adepts and Phoenixes cannot fully combat Stim, Rain, Marauder, Medevac with Liberator. Now, if he gets the space over here in the center left, the bottom base is free, and SOS will lose.
Really?
And the prophecy will come true.
Tastradamus,
yeah, man. I think he might be in trouble. Now, it looks like he's not going to go for it, is he?
No.
There's no way. Protoss can't get his army out there.
Yeah, he is going to go for that. The Blink actually segments a couple of the Stalkers, trying to take out the Liberators behind, but there's more coming in.
Okay, in fact, the ground army is a little bit too beefy there for SOS. Really nicely handled. There were enough Colossi. The splash damage worked. Terran is a little bit spread out, trying to do damage here.
There's nothing else left on the ground. Nothing in the air either. Wow, great defense.
Yeah, you know what? I stand totally corrected. I really felt like when those Phoenixes took that damage, that was going to be game. But I got to remember that SOS doesn't like to do like what we saw Hero do. Hero maybe stays on Phoenix Adept a little bit too long.
He's going to try for the Nexus Knight. The Nexus is at half HP because he had that force of the drop dealing damage to it earlier. And right as SOS moves out, he's going to lose the Nexus.
Really nicely done. Nexus is down. Terran Army's going to have to retreat. Adepts come in here trying to do some harass. Doesn't look like it's going to work out too well.
ByuN. This is the classic ByuN. If he doesn't kill you with his first little poke out, he's going to come back for round 2, and that's when you can't deal with it. Takes out the Nexus. Beautifully done. And now he's going to shore himself up back at home. Liberator range is halfway done, and after eliminating all those Phoenixes early, there's just not a lot to deal with them.
Okay, liberation zones are coming down. And honestly, I don't know if he can bust in there. He's going to try to get him to relocate a little bit here. Now, he needs to edge in. The Stalkers want to ideally gun down the Liberators, but if you have the right liberation zone set up, and you missed it with the Stalkers, they go into Widow Mines, Stim Marine Marauder, and the Liberators, and everything falls apart. So I actually think that SOS is wise to try to back off here. I think he's looking at that and saying, got to try for later.
Is this a missed rally point? Yeah. Or no. I guess he's going to try to make the most out of it. That's an odd mining technique that we're seeing there, Tasteless.
Well, I think he's just got so many workers. He's just, he's got to have something mined there.
Right.
So from here we have... Again, I don't know about pushing in here. Well, hold on. If he's not in the right position, then it's fine. He didn't have the Liberation Zone set up.
Now, he does have Liberator range, so those Liberators are going to be way back there. Great force fields, though, are segmenting quite a bit, but ByuN just has so much there to defend.
Yeah, it seems like SOS is really itching to try to break this game. Now, keep in mind, that was a big drop. It's headed over here to the main of the Protoss, as far as we could tell.
See if SOS wants to go for this in time.
You know, if SOS just jumps in at the other angle, if he goes around, he'll be fine. Whoa!
Okay, that could have been really, really bad. Nice force fields, though, could make the best of a bad situation.
Yeah, actually he did. That was pretty nice, considering. Now here comes the big drop, or as all of the casters call, a doom drop. But I don't know if it's going to be enough damage here. It seems to be, if he keeps back here and goes into these pylons, I guess he's just not going to bite the bait.
I mean, that's a scary thing about just tiny dropship forces. And maybe this isn't tiny, but they can just deal a lot of damage. It takes maybe even more than you think. Oh no, ByuN though might have extended too far. Barely saves that last Liberator, and this drop still dealing damage.
Okay, once again,
Oh!
Medivacs pick up. This guy is actually having a pretty action-packed game here. Again, remember, ByuN won the first game, but it was kind of a crazy all-in. This time we're having a much more epic TVP as we kind of branch up and the map begins to get consumed more and more.
Both players on 4 bases. ByuN has tenaciously defended that base down there. Whoa, don't want to walk in there.
Yeah, it seems like the Liberator range makes it actually almost impossible to break this with this unit comp. Unless SOS can prove me wrong here, I'm just, you know, it's hard to get the right range here set up. Okay, he's coming now.
Oh, look at that arc. Such a concave.
Oh, it's insane, man. That's way too much. Force fields go down, and ByuN is not phased, taking out everything and everyone here for SOS.
ByuN poised to make it a 2-0. GG, ByuN. Man, this is 2-0. There he is, popping off.
He is so happy. You gotta love seeing that. It looks like we're gonna have we actually are gonna have SOS going to the losers match. ByuN not hiding his feelings here. We're gonna go to an interview with him shortly.
Man,
he's so good.
ByuN is just all in on emotions. Like, I've never been sadder watching a player than watching ByuN when he loses. But when ByuN wins, man, there is just no better feeling. And SOS on the other side, I mean, he's still kind of smiling. He does have another chance, so we can't count him out just yet.
I think you're really feeling the stress here for SOS. You know, he really wants to get out of this group. It's not been an easy year for him. He's losing again to ByuN, who managed to beat him in the finals. Anyways, let's go to this interview and see how ByuN's feeling. You advanced first, ByuN. Congratulations. Just thank you. This was a tough group, but you made it. How do you feel?
잠을 못 자가지고 밤 새고 왔거든요. 그래서 걱정을 되게 많이 했는데 생각외로
I didn't sleep well last night. In fact, almost no sleep at all.
되게 좋네요. 이렇게
I felt like my condition might not be good. I was quite nervous about this match today.
들어와서 최고의 경기력을 낸 것 같아가지고 너무 마음에 드네요.
최고의 경기력인 것 같다.
But I gotta say, I'm really happy with my performance. I feel like this is some of my best performance this year. Wow, that's unusual for to hear.
굉장히 안정적이라는 말이 많이 나왔는데.
It feels like your style has changed a little bit, ByuN. It seems to be much more stabilized.
일단 제가
And it seems a little bit more focused on defense as well. Can you tell us about that?
플레이를 많이 보였는데 그게 항상 긴장을 해가지고 빨리 끝내려고 하다 보니까 그렇게 됐는데 오늘은
I was almost doing all-ins. I was super nervous. I thought maybe I might be trying to finish these games too fast. But when I started playing the games, I started to realize I'm actually more comfortable than I realized. I was having good feelings. So every game basically went as I planned. This guy's the opposite of innovation.
Yeah.
This is the complete opposite.
오늘 김유진 선수, 김준호 선수.
Anyways, he says he wasn't afraid to have long games.
정말 쉽지 않은 상대들이었거든요. 오늘 상대하셨는데 어떤 선수가 더 까다로웠던 것 같으세요?
일단
Who was tougher to play against today?
두 선수랑 붙기를 되게 꺼려해요. 근데 저는 다르게 잠시만과 다르게 두 선수랑 하면 제가
So a lot of Terrans struggle against both Hero and SOS. Personally, though,
그래도 두 선수랑 하면
I think just in general, I'm a little bit scared of Protosses.
먹을 정도로 두 선수 상대로는
But those two guys.
그래요? 김준호 선수와는 스코어가 거의
today, as the game started, had confidence, even though I feel like lately I've struggled against Protosses. Yuri says you're still about 50-50 though, especially against SOS. Yeah, but that's not only me, that's a lot of other players. They seem to be pretty dead even against SOS. So I thought, you know what, that can actually make me more confident. So when he saw his carriers in the first map, or I think of the mothership, excuse me, in the first map, I was a little bit scared. I thought, what is going on? And then after... Oh, I'm sorry, they're talking about the previous match. Right. Carriers in the other game. So he was asking his other friends, how do you deal with that? And he thought, oh man, if SOS can pull off carriers in a long series like that, and maybe do that against me, that was going to be much tougher.
Yeah, when he saw the mother or the fleet beacon, I think that's what he thought.
Okay, well, I think yeah. We're all over the place here.
예전에 아마추어 연승전에 3번 쓴 걸 봤어요. 아마추어 상대로. 그걸 본 게 조금 도움이 됐던 것 같아요.
자, 이렇게
I remember he's used some of those builds a long time ago.
이제 A조의 2위와 만나게
And that's how I
됩니다.
dealt with
지금
it.
표정에서 지금 느낌이 다
I
나오고
just remember
있어요.
dealing with it a long time
그 팬심
ago.
가득한 그 이신영 선수를 만나게 됐거든요.
So now you're going to face
떠나도 지금 가장 잘하는
another player in
프로게이머
Group A.
선수잖아요.
That's innovation.
좋은 팀으로 올라갔는데 왜 저 2등
This is not only the guy I'm a
하셨는지
fan
그래도
of.
제가 그 GSL 대 월드에 3번 붙어본 경험으로
네.
저는 제가 생각보다
I couldn't even understand how he'd be the second player to advance out of a group, especially after he's been playing recently.
그래도 제가 제 친한 테란 선수들이 굉장히 많아가지고
네.
이제 태태전만 준비하면 될 것 같아요.
네.
근데 진짜 쉽지
There's a lot
않은
of Terran players who've got very close relationships with
갈수 있기 때문에
네.
I see I have close relationships with a lot of TBTs, so I know it's going to be a tough series to play against innovation.
선수의 복수 저희가 기대를 하고 기다리겠습니다.
But I need those points to get to
그런데
BlizzCon.
이거는 경기 외적인 질문인데 아까
Yeah, not
쉬는 시간에 또
qualified for
막간으로 그 참교육 영상이 나갔었거든요. 많은 분들이 워낙 궁금해하셔서
So besides the games, I have some
권현우
other
선수의
questions.
핸드폰 속에 저장되어
Oh,
있는
boy.
두 개의 번호 누군지 되게 궁금해하시더라고요.
일단 한 명은 다들 잘 아시는 조지현 선수고요. 한
네.
선수고요. 또 한
Oh,
명은
apparently people are asking about two numbers on your cell phone?
제가 저장하려고 한 게
He
아니고
says, oh,
네.
one's
하게
patience
됐는데 전화번호에
and one's the producer of the Star League. I have no idea the context of
그리고
this.
이 참교육이 2탄도 있거든요.
네.
2탄도 아마 다음 주나 방송할 것 같은데.
Oh, so he only has 2 numbers stored in his cell phone. I think you mentioned that earlier.
Oh, is he like one of these guys that's like, I'm crazy
자,
drunk,
이제
but I know the
fans
numbers.
saw that in a
마지막으로
clip,
팬들에게
and
한마디
then-
올려주시죠.
Whose numbers are those?
프로토스전에 굉장히 약한 모습을 보여가지고
Before we
오늘
close it,
저가
any words to your fans?
두 명이나 있어가지고 많이 걱정하셨을 텐데 제가 정말 이번에
I know some people were worried about my play against Protoss, but
전환까지 성공했거든요. 이제
I practice hard,
앞으로 너무
and it
걱정하지 마시고
worked
지금
out.
엄청 열심히 연습하고 있으니까
And I'm glad I successfully was able to alter my play style to come out on top.
꼭 이겨야겠지만
So keep the confidence with me
좋은
and
경기력으로
watch me when I'm against innovation in the round of 8.
보여드리겠습니다. 감사합니다.
네, 알겠습니다. 다시
says, I'm
한번
gonna show some great
좋은
games.
BT 축하드립니다.
The opposite of an innovation review. Well done, ByuN.
네,
He
자,
is
이렇게
continuing to
오늘
evolve.
죽음의조에서 1위로 당당하게 올라간
They really are
권현우
polar
선수와 이야기
opposites.
나눠봤고요.
ByuN is
I
just
know.
like the
GSL
most like
이벤트
exuberant,
안내해드립니다.
like a personality-driven player, and innovation is just
Yeah.
like, I've won 8 tournaments in a row. I'm happy.
You see the GSL versus the World interviews?
Oh
With, like,
my-
they're some of the worst.
It's like he has
Innovation's like,
like,
oh, I think they're good. I'm just a little bit better than them.
it's like he has like pre-narcolepsy. Like he doesn't commit to falling asleep. He's just almost about to all
Yeah,
the time.
in these interviews. Well, congratulations to ByuN. That means we have a rematch of innovation versus ByuN, which nobody can complain about. That's going to be a really fun best of 5 to cast.
And any of the players that advance right now, they'll play against Solar, I believe.
Yeah.
It was the first player to advance from Group A. So even that's just going to set up for some sick games. I love what ByuN said in the interview about how previously he's looked really shaky against Protosses. I think he was like less than 50% for a while, especially offline here in Korea. He was at like 45. So that was scary, but he has changed his stars. He wins tonight. Now we're going to head to a commercial break to find out who will be our next player to advance to our final match tonight.